Today I met Kenny Kim. Went down to Laramie, visited Third Way Jiu-Jitsu. They were hosting Kenny Kim for a seminar, a gi seminar, and a few of my crew, we hopped in the cars and we took caravan down to Laramie to spend some time on the mat with Kenny Kim and with the people of Third Way Jiu-Jitsu and the visiting schools that came through. Absolutely fun time. The lesson was really a fundamental lesson, in my opinion. It was this concept, this underlying jiu-jitsu concept of where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? As a practitioner of jiu-jitsu, letting the person that you're working with decide, where do you want to go? I think it was Elio Gracie that said, how do you always win? And he said, I've never won. I just let them choose how they want to lose. I might have the person wrong. It was one of the Gracies, but I really love that quote. I've never won. I just let them choose how they want to lose. So I think this is a fundamental concept, and this was kind of the underlying concept of today. The actual seminar was guard passing, specifically the De La Riva guard pass, or one of a way of shutting down the De La Riva guard and then passing into side control or mount or various places and getting through it different ways, and then slowly this building blocks method of adding challenges. They get the knee shield, they lock you down, keep your legs from being able to pass to the ways that you want to go. Different ways of doing X passes and different things, back takes, all kinds of stuff that all built up over time on this basic concept. And the entire idea being, where do you want to go? This person wants to go somewhere. You're trying to pass their guard and they want to go somewhere, do something, and then yielding to that. Deciding that based on where they want to go, you have an option to take somewhere that you can go, something that you can do. Yielding and being sensitive rather than forcing your way to something that just isn't working. Again, I think this is fundamental. It's such an important concept, but maybe one that we don't always process or understand. Sometimes we just want to force it, especially if you're new to these kinds of things, new to jiu-jitsu, white belt, blue belt, even maybe sometimes into purple belt, that you're forcing it. You're trying to make the thing happen that you want to happen, even though there are better options. And yeah, sometimes you don't know those options. They're new to you, so you're just doing what you know how to do. But sometimes you do know the option, and you got your blinders on, and you're not noticing that they're giving you away. They're giving an option that you could take, and you're just not seeing it. So instead today, exploring these options, different things, what ifs. What if this happens? What are the ways that they could approach this? If they approach it that way, what can you do? And he would ask these questions. Kenny would ask these questions. He started off just simply, if we're playing open guard, what are the ways that we could approach open guard? How might you do it? And that was how we led into De La Riva. And then from the De La Riva, okay, well, how might you address this? And he'd let people get up and show their way. This is what I would do. Would this work? And he reinforced that in jiu-jitsu, there isn't a way. It comes down to, does it work? Can you make it work? Does it work for you? And he reinforced that if somebody's telling you that that's not the right way, that maybe that's not the right person to train with, because there isn't a right way. There might be ways that address that particular problem better. There might be ways that work better for you that you haven't discovered yet, and that's fine. But if what you're doing is working, then that is jiu-jitsu. It's all there. And so working through these ideas, here's the situation, here's the problem. How do we handle it? Show me. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Well, what if we did this? And working through these different ways and then building into different types of responses. And that's what it is, right? When you have your game, you kind of flowchart it. Eventually, you look at the idea of flowcharting. If this happens, I might go this way, and they have this response, so they could go this way. And you branch it out, and it lets you start to see ahead, further, into your game, into their game, into the game. And this was reinforced today with that concept. Okay, well, what's a way that this could be shut down? Here's something we can do to that. If we do that, how could that be shut down? Well, that could be shut down this way. So we have these kinds of options. And sometimes the options were go back to a previous thing that we've already done, because this response to this thing is actually putting us right back into a place where this is now applicable again. Which I think is a huge, important concept, is that there's this overlapping spiral of technique and approaches, methods you can use, and you can go back through, and sometimes you need to go a new direction, and sometimes that direction you need to go is right back to something that was working a second ago but was stopped. And then the response took you somewhere else, and the response to that brought you back. And that happens. And we don't want blinders. We don't want to be looking a specific direction and missing the point, missing the opportunities, missing the things that we can do. Instead, where do you want to go? How do you want to lose? Show me. Let me be sensitive to what you're trying to do, and let me just know some ways to approach defeating that, moving around it, yielding to it, and getting the result that I need anyway. He also incorporated live drilling, live practice of it, eventually working to the idea of, okay, let's play, let's work through this, and try to stop it, try to shut it down, and let's play with the different concepts that we did today, and let's see if we can bounce from thing to thing and get to our result. And that was a great way to approach it. Really kind of landed home the ideas of the things that we did, how they work, and yeah, depending on your experience level or how well you picked up some of the things, you might not have went. And that happened to me. I felt like I really had, at the end of the time, I had probably 3 or 4 out of maybe 6 or 7 things that we did that I kept kind of falling into, but that happens. That's normal. You can pick up what you can pick up. And over time, the others will become more available to me as I practice and train them, and then I'll be able to do it. But initially, 3 or 4 of the ones we did that day, that felt pretty good. Felt good to have options, 2 or 3 different obstacles that I could approach and get to where I wanted to go. The other thing that was really fun about the way he set it up is the warm-up. The warm-up that we did today was not your kind of standard warm-up. Instead, it was more kind of competitive, challenging games that we played that were super easy. They might be something as simple as touch the other person's foot. And if you can touch their foot, you win. Start over. Right? And did kind of a King of the Mountain thing where slowly there were less and less as we went. And just very fun, energetic, enthusiastic things that kind of built the energy in the room before we even started doing all this drilling. Then each time cycling back to what can we do? What do you see? Allowing you to show what you see. Sometimes he would get up and have you show the thing that you saw, or how might you respond to that. Or something I really loved that I will probably steal because I think this is excellent, when he asked, do you have questions? Which is a common thing to ask when you're training and you're showing something to someone. If there were no questions, then he might say, okay, who wants to show me this drill? And then have them get up and demonstrate what they just saw. And maybe they got it, maybe they didn't get it, maybe he grabbed somebody else and have them say, okay, who else thinks they have it? And let's look at it. And then if they didn't, then he could explore what maybe wasn't getting picked up, which other people probably weren't picking up on, or maybe they did get it and it was like, okay, cool, we're in a good spot. Let's go ahead and try it. Let's grab our partners and let's work through it. Just thought that was a really cool way to explore how are you receiving what I'm teaching you? Where are you at? What are you getting from this? And I'm sure in his head he was making assessments and adjustments to what he was doing and approaching the group. The seminar went so smooth and it was done so well. His information was really well put together. You could tell that this was the culmination of a lot of thought and a lot of experience. And I guess it even is already recorded with BJJ Fanatics. He's already got a video. I think it's called Guard Pass with Class. Definitely going to be checking that out to kind of get some reference material of what we did today and more, because in that case, he spent 6 hours going through stuff and boiling that down to a couple hours worth of training that they have over there. And those guys have so much great content, and they're always running huge sales, like 70% off. So you can pick up these instructionals super cheap. And especially, I really like video instructionals when they are in conjunction with live training that I've done. So today I did the training. I got to work with Kenny, I got to work with other guys on the mat, and got the chance to experience this. And so now the instructional will have so much more value because it matches something I've done. So it's more of a reference rather than being a new thing to absorb. It's a reference of something I've done to help maybe answer some questions, fill in the blanks, but also have a refresher now that, when we do a seminar, we learn as much as we can over the course of a few hours, and then we try to remember all of that, and you never do. So to have a reference like this is really cool. The other thing that was really exciting, and maybe I'll talk about this more, is I got the chance to meet, now that Rick has moved, Jess Simpson took over the Third Way Jiu-Jitsu dojo, and Nick Hatterley's been running the dojo in Saratoga. These are Roy Dean academies that I'm familiar with, and they are kind of sister schools to our school in the academy and to the Roy Dean family. And it was great to get to meet you. Today was the first time that I got to meet both Nick and Jess, and it was really wonderful to get on the mat and spend some time and get to know this extended family. If you've ever thought about being part of an organization, that's really why you do it. There's great instruction all over the place. There's great people all over the place that have experience and knowledge. An organization affords you connections, people to connect with, other schools you can train in. And that was wonderful too, to get the chance to spend some time together with these other people who are other resources and other people I can spend time with learning and going deeper into jiu-jitsu. And we get to share this with each other. That's the beauty of being attached to an organization. I really like the Roy Dean Academy. I really like the things Roy Dean and his crew have done to build such a wonderful experience in a great community. It really is a great community. I've watched as people have rallied together, people who don't even know other people being like, yeah, I'm going to show up to your demo so that I can support that you're doing that. You're going for your black belt. I will fly there and I will be there just to do that. And I think it's so cool when you see people willing to uproot themselves and go support people that they haven't even met yet just because they're part of the family. I think that's awesome. Organizations, affiliations, they can matter. They can really help broaden your options. Kenny Kim seminar was awesome. Really looking forward to doing more with Kenny over time. I hope to have him out to our school at some point. We talked a little bit about that today. And in the meantime, I hope that you go check out his stuff. I'll drop links in the description so you can see more of what he's doing. There'll be links to Third Way Jiu-Jitsu and the Saratoga School, Platte River Judo, Platte River Martial Arts. We also have a Platte River Judo in town, so they cross in my mind. But Platte River Martial Arts, Nick Hatterley, Saratoga, Wyoming, Third Way Jiu-Jitsu, Jess Simpson, Laramie, Wyoming. If you want to come train with me, Casper Dojo, Casper, Wyoming. Kenny Kim, he's in Georgia. If you want to go check out his school, his academy. Also, he's going to be visiting. He's talked about a long laundry list of seminars and camps that he's doing all over. So you'll probably have an opportunity nearby if you look for it. In the meantime, get out there, get on the mat, do some training, meet new people, spend time investigating more, and asking yourself, where do you want to go?